Welcome back, one and all. We are Trekyards. He's Commander Cockings.
He's Chancellor Gorkon.
Oh, there you go. We're going to initiate a peace treaty right now with you guys. We don't want any problems.
Gonna look under the desk.
There's no bombs. There's no snipers.
No. Underneath your camp, there's no cloaked ships. Just underneath, just so I can't tell line of fire. Even though totally, line of fire is different. You totally anyway.
It's all right. They can't firewall cloaked. You're fine. You don't have to look for anything
surely
like
they
that.
would fire torpedoes that were made on Kronos. Will they be clever enough to? Is the torpedo launcher able to fire Federation stand torpedoes? Because surely they'd be different. I'm just saying.
That's all they're ready.
Yes, it is.
But today we're talking about Picard Season 3, Episode 6, The Bounty. We see the museum. There's a Katinga there. And people have been like, why is there a Katinga there? That's a whole other discussion, which we might mention here. But anyway, regardless, it is Kronos One. It's been confirmed by Terry Metalis and Dave Blass and the showrunners. And it looks like Kronos One. At least I think it does from Star Trek 6. But we're going to do that thing we do here, where we're going to compare it right now and see exactly what it is or what it's supposed to be and how well they did as far as matching what it should be. There you go. Is that pretty much what we're doing today?
You said words, Stuart. Good job.
I had lots of words.
You did.
Yeah.
Not quite Shakespearean as Chang, but you tried.
Wow.
If you only read your script in the original Klingon, you could have said it more eloquently, I think.
That's true, yeah.
Because it's all scripted, Stuart. All the jokes, it's just scripted, I've memorised it. Now, what's different, Stuart, about Kronos 1 versus a classic Tinga? Off the top of your head, what would you say?
Well, the color and also the glows on the nacelles. I think there was, I think Kronos 1's the only one that has them on the front, and they're green as well, which I think on both sides of the inner and outer, I'm pretty sure, which is quite unique, I think. So there you go.
Yeah, Kronos 1 is basically a fancier Katinga.
As it should be. It's like Air Force One as far
as
planes go. So,
plus, it was in theory their newest one, so they were able to explain. But of course, yes, here's the museum, and you can see it right there next to the NX refit and the Bird of Prey. But yes, here it is in the show. I mean, visibly, the things you just said, it's got red paint and green glows.
Okay.
There you go. Don't know if the scale's right, but that's okay. It looks nice. Although, I kind of wish I know the angle's tricky, but I wish they'd had light on the head bulb thing, because it's not the best lighting you could have lit it with. But, just saying. But considering, the shapes look good, it feels right. And for a ship that is not showed in detail, it feels right. Which is a great indicator of either they got away with it, or maybe it appeared later, and therefore it's a better model. I actually don't know.
But it's time to compare.
Mm-hmm.
So what is this first one we have it compared to? Is this the one from the motion picture?
Yes, this is Rob Bonshun, who's of course VFX supervisor on Voyager and Enterprise and many other things. He finished for us his long wanting to have finished a TMP movie accurate Katinga. This is all the tiny greeblies. It took him quite a while, and it's to show you what a standard version looks like. And as you can see, it feels quite different.
It does, yes. I think it's hard to match the exact angle as well. But yeah, the rear engineering section there, like the top part, feels a little bit more wider on the Kronos One. Is my first thing I notice, and then also the bulb shape, or the top hat underneath the top hat, looks a little bit of a different shape, and the color, of course.
Yeah, it's mostly the color.
And no glowies on the front of the nacelles, so.
Yeah, they stand out more when you look at the TMP one, which was very plain in comparison because it was a classic miniature vibe. Whereas later they really want to pump in those glows. So here is a shot of it compared to the movie version, which of course is the miniature. Doesn't quite show off the red too much because that's on the top. And yes, the head does have a few different things. There's some side plates, etc. that aren't in this angle perfectly. But there you go. Although, boy, not the best looking miniature shot they ever did. It looked better in the movie because that looks rather flat. And overly filled light. Yeah.
But you can see the glows here, the green glows that match up on the inner chiller grills as well as the front. Like, that's unique for the Katinga and the D7 to have a front grill, like, light, so.
A non-Bassard.
I was going to say the lighting on the band on the front of the head section is the lights, or the windows look different placements. But
that'd be an insane thing to match, of course. one thing that's interesting about Kronos One is that it really was more detailed than the movie let on, because it's very hard to see, but if you look near the torpedo emitter, there's actually gold plating around it. Doesn't come across the lighting, but there is. And when they made a CG model for Eaglemoss, Fabio, I believe, or Ed, one of the two, I think Fabio though, made a replica, they of course utilised all the gold and more of the red, and it really pops as a piece that this does not do justice to, because of course this is the flagship, this is or at least the Air Force One, it's meant to look fancy. So here's my comparative render with the angle, and you can see obviously the gold's been entirely lost from the one from the show, but this shows you better. There is red, there is gold, there is more colours, although the Eaglemoss one did not include the blue light on the windows. But that's a comparison with the Eaglemoss one, which this might very well be. We've said that is not going to be likely with other models, but this might be the one. Although I'm looking at it, and I would say the plating on the secondary hull is not raised at all. This it clearly is.
Well, and also that upper engineering section again doesn't match for me. It's actually quite different here.
Yeah.
Not only is it wider than the Picard one, but it's also like squished down a bit. This one's more.
Oh, interesting. So yeah, it's not the same 3D model Eaglemoss used. They had to make also a Katinga. But I do think, like I say, the plating on the wings is just flat textured, which in fairness isn't that hard to do, saving time. It's actually more different than it looks.
Yeah. And again, the lighting on that band is a little more close here, I think, because it looks like 2 rows of windows on each. Whereas the other one had like one row on the actual Kronos.
And for some reason, there's now windows in the forward hull, which aren't on Kronos 1. And I can't tell if the head has the extra extruding bits or not. It's too dark to see.
And also the struts are quite thicker on the Picard one.
That is true. Yeah, even with perspective shift, they're definitely... Yeah, wow, actually.
Yeah, they're very, very bulked up.
Because you can see on the right-hand side, the pylon's actually bigger than the nacelle. It actually goes over and encompasses it, whereas normally it just sort of go in... Wow, that was a choice. Ooh.
I actually like the Picard one better. But
well, it feels less spindly. Because I would bet you also the leading edge is both of the main hull is also thicker and different angle. So it has a bulkier feel. Now, the question obviously being is, did Fabio use just a random D7 and convert it? Or did the Picard team use a random D7 and convert it? Because, of course, in the movies, it was the same miniature. Now, interestingly, Stuart, if you jump back to Rob Bonshoon's version, now we're to compare. Now look at the engines.
Those struts are the same thickness. Yeah, I think Rob's is more in line with what's being shown here. So, and Rob's a stickler for detail. So this is exactly like the even down to the creepies, as you said. So
I mean, the engineering hull is, I would say, there's a tad. It's even with perspective, it is different. The engineering pod at the top, it is different for sure, a bit. And again, same miniature. So, but if you cut back to the movie version, back to the nacelle struts. I don't know if I buy the nacelle struts are going in the same way. They look different to me. They look as if they're going into the nacelle, not on top of the nacelle. What do you think? Again, that right-hand nacelle, the way the actual movie one connects, doesn't feel like the one they're showing us in Picard.
It's hard to tell from that perspective, but I think they match up pretty good. But there's also a different angle. Again, the one from Picard has a steeper angle.
Yes,
that's another thing too. Geometry's wrong. Wow.
Which, if you go back to the one from TMP, that is about right.
Yeah.
Because it would make sense. They would have to potentially build new engine pods to the miniature to add all the internal lighting, and they might then have had to have a different angle of the miniature to, it's quite. I mean, I don't necessarily think they cut out of the, is it to put in new engines to the Katinga model from TMP, or to cut open slits and put LED, replace the engine nodes? Interesting.
Yeah, it's actually seen a lot of different things here, so wow.
Because the question is, did the team just have a just one of their models they built as a fan years ago, and they're sort of taking bits from other things slightly. Very interesting. Because who the hell looks at this stuff like this, Stuart? It's
no one. That's Trekyards' job. Speaking of, while we were here and talking about this, and people are going to stick around for the fleet video at the end, so we got your attention, so listen up. People are asking why the museum would have Kronos One. Well, they're at peace with the Klingons now. This is a very important historical event, the whole Gorkon and As It Were thing, to establish peace with the Federation. Gorkon was ahead of his time. He wanted to establish peace, and I think that's very important, symbolism-wise. So they would maybe give them the Kronos One for the Federation Fleet Museum. It could also be part of a traveling exhibit where it goes to different museums and they kind of swap out pieces, because museums do that. They do swap out exhibits and stuff to kind of get more people's eyeballs on them. So anyway, lots of reasons that Kronos One could be there. I personally don't have a problem with it, but I know some people did. So you have any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think I doubt it was there since Star Trek 6, but I can imagine that the next treaty with Gowron, maybe there was a sense of, we messed up the Cardassians, the Dominion, we're going to give this from our museum as a little symbol of peace and friendship, etc. Like the traveling exhibit is absolutely fine. It's kind of cool. Klingon politics. Or it's a spy ship. It's there to spy on all the goings on at the museum just in case, and it's been employed there for 100 years.
Yeah. Yeah, it's getting all the Starfleet secrets slowly but surely.
Really, 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 really old secrets.
Yep.
But no, I'm fine with it. I think it's nice. A random Katinga is fine, but being Kronos One, or in fairness, I mean, I guess they've confirmed it, but any version of the flagship would be nice, because it could have been Kronos 2 or Kronos 3. And just the idea of, one from later or an era, and it's maybe Air Force jets are similar on purpose. Maybe they want to keep, Katingas exist until DS9, so
yeah.
Who's they don't just keep upgrading the internals? So it might just be Kronos 7. Garon's or maybe Garon, when he got his Negvar, donated this to Starfleet. This was Kronos 7.
Yeah. Here, take my ride. I got a better one now.
It's 12 times the size. And I'll never use it to attack DS9. What? Nothing.
Pretty much, yeah. Anyway, guys, comment down below what you thought about this. Which ship do you think it is? Do you think it's Kronos One? It's been confirmed that it is, or supposed to be, so there you go. But what do you think about our analysis and breakdown? And do you have any problems with it being displayed at a Starfleet museum? All the comments, all down below. Please do it. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to click the notification bell so you get notified when we go live, where you can come and talk with us. And all those comments you're putting down there right now, you can come and talk to us in real time, and we can answer you in real time. So come and join us for those lives.
Real time? So no time travel. It's there. You're here. Living live.
A little bit of a delay, but they don't need to know that.
Well, we're in real time, Stuart.
Yes.
And you're in YouTube time. It's like 10 seconds before.
Yes.
Anyway, speaking of YouTube, you can support us monthly if you'd like, because this stuff is all free for everybody, but we do need that support from some, if not many of you, to help what we do here keep going from now until we don't know when. That's kind of the fun of it, because the new stuff going out all the time. Amazing. So support us monthly if you can via Patreon. It is, well, you know what it is. It's been there for a long time. It's monthly help for content creators like us, or joining the channel on YouTube. Find the join button, click it, and look at the rewards. And we love to keep it all the same on both networks, so it's the same perks, but on YouTube you get the added additional stuff of being, the member things, the stickers, etc. Again, it'll describe it in the join button, or super chats on a live, super thanks on any video. There's a one-time donations of any amount. You can literally go up to like $500, $600. Amazing. Or PayPal one time, that goes towards show costs, equipment, and accessories. Making things look nicer, prettier, faster, meaner, stronger, etc. Trekyards@hotmail.com. Thanks in advance, and just join in for another episode of us looking at something cool, hopefully.
That's right. So until then, he's Commander Cocking.
He's Gunnar Foley.
Kapla.
Bye, guys.
Bye.